Good afternoon, Abhishek.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Abhishek is here, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, ma'am. I hope you all are safe and healthy.
Yeah. So, how's the work going on?
Yes, things are going on well for now. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
about the future, but yeah, things are fine till now.
That's a better thing. So, you're working in the domain of blockchain right now?
Yes, in the last 3.5 years, I've been into blockchain. Apart from a year in between, when I was not professionally involved in blockchain because I was working for Policy Bazaar. So Policy Bazaar has nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with blockchain. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then also I was in blockchain, but not professionally. Otherwise, it has been in blockchain.
Okay, so how you feel the blockchain future is there?
Of course, I pretty much believe so. Even people at Policy Bazaar had instructed me that no, it does not have a future. But of course, I believe myself that there's a lot of future. That's why I'm persisting here, and it's here to stay.
Mm-hmm.
The technology is here to stay. Totally believe that.
Yeah, that's going to stay with the different, not only the cryptocurrency, many other
No,
dimensions
not
which
at all.
it
Yes,
provides
yes,
very,
yes,
very good.
yes. Implementation across a lot of sectors are possible, and which is going to make it successful, I believe.
Only scalability is a major concern, I feel so.
It has been a major concern. So it was more of a major concern back in 2017. We were also building at that time. We were building a blockchain from scratch. We were based out of Delhi, and we were one of the first in India to do so. It did not happen. Ultimately, the company got shut down. But at that time, the core problem we were facing was scalability. Honestly, because even on our network, we did not have a lot of throughput. But now, as I can
Mhm.
see, with implementation of a lot of new technologies in blockchain, some of which even I have not studied in detail till now, like side chains, then a lot of such technological advancements have come into blockchain itself, which is making it better now. I mean, of course, it can't compete Visa or Mastercard for that matter as of now. But then
Mhm.
alternative blockchain types such as permission ledgers and these kinds of blockchain types can give you a good throughput where required. So I'll in this entire webinar I'll tell you what we are doing. So we will not be facing any transaction throughput issue as per se.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, Renika ma'am, when we are going to start?
uh, Renuka ma'am, you're on mute.
Ma'am, just we will wait for 2 to 3 minutes more so
And
that more people can join and then we will start.
perfect,
Okay, fine,
perfect.
fine, fine.
Ma'am, shall we call Abhi sir also? Yes, ma'am, please. Students are joining, ma'am.
Bansal sir
Garima ma'am?
has joined. Good afternoon,
Ma'am,
sir.
you are starting a club on blockchain. You want to call some students, you can.
Okay, just wait.
Ma'am, I think Bansal sir has joined. Good afternoon, sir.
Abhishek, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Abhishek sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Abhishek,
Abhishek, it's really nice.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, I cannot see you. You'll be giving like this.
No, of course not. Let me.
You can.
Am I visible, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Abhishek, nice to have you here. And
Thank you, sir. Same
today you
here.
are giving on a very important topic, which is blockchain technology. It is very much in demand.
Yes,
And
sir.
thank you. You have taken few students also who are
Yes.
doing internship with you
Yes, they are
on
with us.
blockchain. I'm sure their experience will be very good.
Yes, I hope
And
so.
we'll be giving a lot of guidance and giving a lot
Definitely.
of motivation.
Definitely. One of them
That's
even wants to
when we
come to
want our
blockchain.
students.
Yes.
And we are really happy to have you here.
Thank you
And
so much, sir.
anything in your mind, anything you friend can do it.
Yes.
New venture, new innovation. So, and I'm sure through this lecture, it can be put insight about blockchain technology and could be
Yes,
in
yes.
future, as we have discussed.
Yes.
We also would like to do some workshops, some program much in detail and deeper,
Right.
because this is what it is need of the hour. And
Totally.
in Dubai also, I was there last to last month.
Right.
The Dubai government has created a separate fund for blockchain technology and artificial intelligence.
Right.
And all their uh, financial banking has come on a blockchain. So a lot of countries are taking initiatives and putting their portfolios, their
Yes.
applications on blockchain technology,
Exactly.
which is giving a lot of advantage and flexibility to the organizations who are using blockchain technology. So
Yes.
we welcome you once again.
Thank you
And
so much, sir.
look forward.
Yeah.
Could be, you as an alumni, it is always good. Please advise them, guide them. How
Definitely,
each
sir.
one of our students should be a success story. What should they do in future so that they are successful? And it is not an easy decision to be entrepreneur. A lot of hard work it has to go into
Yes,
it.
especially at
But
such a time.
you are already taking a lot of challenges, and I'm sure
Thank you, sir.
you'll be highly successful. And this is the time you can always take risk.
Right.
In
Exactly.
life, you become older, you can't take much risk.
Exactly
In
my
young
point,
age,
sir.
during your student time, uh,
Yeah.
company, you have strength established.
Right, sir.
So please advise, because student, at least we keep on advising a student, but still, if they hear from their alumni
Right.
what you have done, how you have done, how you have started working on these technologies, because technology is changing so fast, and it will
Totally.
keep on changing.
Yes.
So how they should do, learn, unlearn, relearn,
Right.
and
Right.
how they can become success. And all the students look for shortcut. So I
Yes.
always tell them that there is no shortcut for success. You have to work
Definitely.
hard, because they look for shortcut.
Right,
They say,
right.
sir, how I can pass in this paper? Please
Right.
give 10 questions. I can pass, score, get a grade.
Right.
So they are all looking for a shortcut. But in technology, in market, whosoever are growing, they are not growing with a shortcut. They are going with a longer route so that they
Agreed.
remember in the whole their career. And we have seen all success story.
Yes.
The way Apple has come,
Yes,
the way
yes, yes,
WhatsApp has
totally.
come, all their
Yes.
promoter, you see Google,
Yeah.
Facebook, all they have struggled,
Totally.
and they all have think out of box. And technology is something in which you can establish company. You don't need any infrastructure. Technology is the biggest cost. Like you see Ola, Uber,
Yes.
they
Yes.
are just technology, and rest person who has got a car got connected. So there are a lot of
Right.
opportunity which always feel in the area of technology. So please advise them, guide them. We'll have question answer session at the last. So I'm sure you will motivate them so that they
Definitely.
start working hard. We always want them to dream big. And there are all students, they dream big, right?
Yes.
Abhishek, you
Definitely.
might be knowing,
Yes.
all our students dream big. But
Yes.
they only dream when they sleep. But there are many, they don't sleep and then they dream. So person who do not sleep and dream big, they
Right.
will be in a position to get success very fast, because sleeping and dreaming, it is very difficult to fulfill those dreams, right?
Right,
Those
sir.
dreams will always be dream which in the morning goes away.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right,
Once
sir.
you wake up, all your dreams goes. So
Yes.
so please advise them so that each one of them to become success story. And this is the culture in Amity. You all are already aware.
Yes, yes.
Our honorable founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Dr. Atul Chauhan, they
Yes.
all are looking for that what they can do out of box, what they can do by which their
Yes,
students should
yes. The
show the whole
initiatives.
world they are the best.
Right,
So
sir.
with those passion, motivation, we are working, and that's why we all are here to
Right.
see, and a big satisfaction to see our alumni are really growing fast and they are doing good in the market, highly successful.
Yeah.
There are two persons always, one parent and second teacher.
Faculty.
They
Yes.
are always happy if they find their students, their alumni are growing fast.
Yes.
So, and otherwise we don't have anything. Parent does not want anything from their child. As a
Right.
teacher, we are
And-
not
and
asking any
faculties.
royalty, you should pay us later on.
Agreed.
So we are always happy seeing your growth success with this. I welcome you once again, and
Thank
I'm
you so
sure
much, sir.
if you have any idea, any
Yeah.
concept in your mind,
Yeah.
please let us know. We can make a small project group, give them projects, and
Right.
these students who have a lot of energy
I know.
can make your idea into actual implementation so
Right.
that they can become live. And if they're good, we have incubator, we can get the funding also.
Right. I
So
know,
a lot
sir.
of options
Yes.
are there in Amity. So I'm sure with you, because in early stage you always want to do many things, but all entrepreneur has got limited resources.
Right,
But
right.
utilizing resources at minimum cost, because the student only need exposure. They're not looking for salary
Yes.
during internship.
Yes. At this
They
time.
want good exposure,
Totally.
right?
Agreed,
And if
sir.
they do well, then definitely industry will pay them back,
Right.
right? With
Sir,
this,
some student from Amity has joined his company for internship, industry internship.
Yes. I had sent an
Who?
email to sir. Two students have joined us.
Very good. So rather than 2, you should make 20, because anything you want to do, you should multiply very fast.
Right.
By that time, market realize you should have 10 products in the market.
Right.
So you should be very fast. And in computer science, you are already aware we have 3,000 plus students.
Right.
And you can shortlist student which has got a passion to do something out of the box,
Right.
ready to do it, ready to work day and night. So
Right.
if you find those kind of students, you give them idea,
Right.
work together in a team. I'm sure it can be a very good learning for them, because if they go for a big company as an internship,
Right.
they don't have time.
Right.
Because they all have their own CRA. They have to fulfill their own objectives, which has been set by their organization.
Yes.
But a person like you who are young, building organization in the initial stage, you have a lot of ideas, but you need many hands to work with you so
Right.
that your ideas can become real life.
Totally.
So I'm sure the thing will happen, and we will see progress from time to time.
Yeah.
You have taken 2, you should take 200 and make something so big, great, so that all should see, right?
Yes, I hope for the same. Yeah.
These students will take full advantage of that.
Right.
And I'm sure your experience will be very good, because first thing which is very, very important, which we have realized, is motivation.
Yes.
You can motivate them, they
Right.
can, right?
Right.
And everybody has some strength and weakness. So
No
if you
doubt,
start
yeah.
nurturing their strength,
Yeah.
everything can be done. So Abhishek, it is to you now.
Yes.
And we look forward to have a very good session. And what we will do could be, after the session, we can have question answer session.
Definitely.
Because our question in between, there are 200 plus students. So session will be extended,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yes, sir.
you can give your thought, your discussion on the topic,
Right.
followed by question answer.
Yeah.
And if few questions you feel could not be answered because number is so large,
Yeah.
then you give your email ID. We want them to contact you,
Definitely.
discuss you. They can make you mentor, take your advice,
Definitely,
and
sir.
take your help.
Definitely, sir.
Right, Abhishek?
Yeah.
So it is up to you.
Thank you,
and
sir.
look forward to it.
Thank you
Hearing
so
more.
much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. All right. So, ma'am, should we start? Renuka, ma'am?
Yes, Abhishek, you can start. Yes, you can start.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is so good to be back. Last time I came to Amity was in 2019, end of 2019, for a lecture again by Renuka ma'am, of course. Again, that was on blockchain as well. And now again, good to be back. So what I'll do is I have a very short PPT, because honestly, what I want to cover is not something that can be covered in mere 1.5 hours. I've been given 1 hour today, but yeah, I have a short PPT. We'll take that as a reference. I'll just share it. Yes, is it visible? Can someone just confirm whether the PPT is
Yes,
visible?
yes,
Yes. Yes.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, 1 second. Okay. All right. So yeah, welcome everyone. Let's see that what all is
And
possible. Yes.
we will request the student to type their question on chat box so that at last you can pick those questions. They can write their name
Perfect.
and which
Perfect.
year, which semester.
Perfect. So in fact, you can, yes, please, students, you can, and faculty alike, you can please use the Teams chat box itself, so that even after the session is over, but still that area is still there, the questions are still there. So I would try to answer as many questions as possible. And then if it's not possible there, then we can take it offline later as well. I'll give, of course, or the faculty can give my contact, I'll give my contact. So that's possible.
Yeah. They can put
So your voice.
their email ID so that later on it can be sent to them.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, they
inside.
can put their email ID.
Yes, they can put their email IDs. I can put my email and my WhatsApp. They can just reach out to me. It's not a problem. It can be done. Okay. All right. Okay, great. Then I'll start. So yeah. So welcome students and faculty. What I wanted to put a webinar on is basically starting from basics to understanding what career prospects look like, especially in these circumstances, trying times that we are facing already. Where we do not know that what the world looks like even 1 month from now or 2 months from now. We do not know whether this 3rd May is the date when the country opens, or it's going to be 3rd June, or even later than that, right? Or it's going to be a resurgence of the cases. We know nothing. So with that in mind, let's continue with the topic, and towards the end we will discuss that what kind of career prospects are there. I read a statistic that said that by the end of this entire pandemic is over, about 30 crore people in this country are going to lose their jobs, and definitely a lot of it is going to be manufacturing, agriculture, and such sectors. But IT is definitely going to be one field which will also see. I'll during the conversation I'll share some personal some personal anecdotes, some personal facts and figures that I've got to know since the time this pandemic has started. And essentially we'll discuss, and you'll get to understand that what's happening in the industry and how it looks like even at this beginning of this particular pandemic. We do not know where this is going to lead. All right, so we'll start with that. Okay, so my purpose today, and has been since the last 1 year, since when I started teaching blockchain as well. Before that, I was just commercially into blockchain. I was not into academics. But now, since the last 1 year, it started with Manav Rachna. I gave a lecture at Manav Rachna, and then since then I've started teaching blockchain. So my purpose since that very day, and especially after giving a couple of them, I got to understand the kind of students that are there in the current education system around us. One of which I was three years back. So I got to understand that what exactly they are looking for, what you guys are looking for at this point in time in career, 3rd year, 4th year, 2nd year, and what you are looking for, and what should be the right guidance for you. So by the end of this 1 hour, because that is exactly what is possible in 1 hour, if we are talking about blockchain, is going to be my agenda is going to be that at this end of 1 hour, 1.5 hours, you have some clarity at least, that whether to choose blockchain as a career choice or not. This is the big question for today. 1 hour is not sufficient to cover anything technical from blockchain standpoint. I can't go into cryptography, I can't go into mining and forking and all. But yeah, definitely this bigger question is something that we can answer at the end of 1 hour today. So let's look forward to it. Okay, so just a basic introduction. Why would you think that I am well placed to say that, to help you understand that whether you should take blockchain as a career prospect or not? So first of all, a basic introduction. I belong to the batch 2013-17, Computer Science Engineering Amity. Since the last 3 years, or since the last 4.5 years actually, since I was at Amity, I've been an entrepreneur, honestly. Whenever I've switched to take a job, it has been very short-lived. So I again have either the company has got shut down because startups close down and go off the page every now and then, or companies I have left. So basically, the first startup that I did was back in 3rd year at college. Teen Gazette Media. It was a good company. It was a media company. We had even generated a basic investment, taken a basic investment within 2 months of operation. It was going well. We had to shut down, unfortunately, by the end of our 4th year. So that was the first startup that I did. Second was one back in 2018-19. That was a blockchain-based startup, and currently I'm one of the co-founders at Whirl Fintech Solutions. Whirl is a blockchain-based B2B2C platform as a service that facilitates warehouse lending against warehouse receipts. Our primary customers are basically banks and NBFCs. So more or less, that is what we do. We are an IIM Ahmedabad startup. So just until recently, we got a grant from IIM Ahmedabad. We are part of their recent cohort, Bharat Inclusion Initiative cohort. Then in addition to that, we have been into just as of we started with a pilot of 5 warehouses in Maharashtra. Just as of yesterday evening, the update is that we have got a pilot in principle approval for pilot of 1000 odd warehouses in Maharashtra itself. That's a humongous number. We were launched back in February by Aditya Thackeray in Mumbai. When Aditya Thackeray was the one to conduct the first transaction via our platform, when one of the farmers got the loan that was issued via our platform. And so this is where we are, what we do. We got a lot of traction in that sense, and COVID has definitely hit us. We have been bootstrapped since the last 14 months, but we were about to raise investments. So we'll come on to that later, that what we are facing because of COVID-19, but it has been a tough time. Apart from that, I've been an author twice. This is my just second book, came out in February. It is published by BPB Publications, the same publishers behind Yashwant Kanitkar that you guys must have definitely read. Let us see, and all. And I've been invited as an international speaker at a decentralized then Blockchain World Forum in China and in Asia, Thailand. And I've been an advisor to blockchain companies. So yeah, companies have flourished when I've advised them. So I believe that I would be in a good position to advise you guys as well. Some of my advisories are esports.com that generated 5.8 million euros in ICO back in 2018. Yeah, that's it. And I create courses. I'm an educator with a couple of platforms. I create courses regularly. I do that. I do them for free. So that is something that I've been into. So with that introduction, let's move forward. All right. So okay. So any questions? Again, repeating what Bansal sir just said. Any questions that you might have today, please write them either in the chat box provided by Teams. I'll at the end of the after this session, I'll leave my WhatsApp number as well as my email ID there. You can reach out to me there as well. And anyways, or I'll try to take some questions at the end of the session, which I believe I will be able to answer. And all right, so I think that's it. Let's begin. So let's start by taking a look at the basics of blockchain. Like, why blockchain? What is blockchain based on? What thought process is blockchain based on? And why did we even need blockchain, right? So essentially, okay, one note of caution: whenever I take these workshops or these webinars or these lectures, the first thing that I always I always ask you, every one of you, to do is, for the next duration, which is usually I take these workshops for 2 days in a row, 5 hours a day, but I just say one thing. For the next duration, till the time we are together here, please break the link between cryptocurrency and blockchain, and break that in your mind, that blockchain ही cryptocurrency है and cryptocurrency is blockchain. Please forget that. I'll get back to it later. Please forget that. Most of you must have heard about Bitcoin, heard about blockchain because of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is an implementation again. So please forget that it is all about blockchain, is all about Bitcoin. All right. So that is one thing that you must take note of. So why was blockchain needed? Why did blockchain come into the picture? So blockchain is based on a decentralized, a distributed ledger. Blockchain is basically a distributed ledger technology. So what happens is that whenever you're recording a transaction, if that's either on a centralized ledger or it's on a decentralized ledger, it's on a distributed ledger. Centralized ledger means that only one entity, one party is recording that transaction, that this transaction happened. We'll come to an example, a very common example that everyone gives. to understand blockchain further. So that is what blockchain is all about. So that is distributed ledger technology. It's just a ledger. It's just like a database. Blockchain is not a very it's just hyped. Honestly, it's hyped a lot, and that is good, because then our business works. But it is not something to be hyped so much. It is just a database kind of a technology. There are key differences between normal databases and DLTs. One of the key differences are that normal databases you can just open and you can edit. That is something you cannot do in blockchain. Okay, we'll come to that later. So why did we need decentralization? All right. So okay, why did we need decentralization? Decentralization came into picture because people started believing that giving complete control of your data, your transactions, your everyday activities in the hands of just one single entity is not good. It's not a good thought process. It's not a good way to conduct business, right? So that is why people came up with so the entire core concept behind bringing blockchain was to have less faith on single entities as compared to a group of entities, right? You always believe. So people started believing that if I'm telling something to 5 different people, there's a better chance that at the end of the day, when I ask someone, when I ask the group, or when I ask just in public that did I do that, there would be a better chance of getting a correct response from a group of people as compared to a single person, a single entity. Why? Because a single entity can do anything, right? There's no alternative source of truth when you're trusting a single entity, right? So that is why so when you do that, when you put all the trust in a single entity, that is when you basically are bringing in centralization. That is what centralization is, and just the opposite is decentralization, where you're putting the control, the recording, the bookkeeping in the hands of 5 to 10 different people, 5 to 10 different entities, right? So that is why decentralization was needed. I'll give that example that I was talking about. So for example, right now I want to give 100 rupees to say Seema ma'am, right? Now I tell Axis Bank, or I tell any bank, that please deduct 100 rupees from my account, give it to Seema ma'am, right? Now Axis Bank knows that I gave 100 rupees, but no one else does, right? One fine morning, I wake up and I see that Axis Bank has gone rogue. Axis Bank has nothing to do with what I'm saying, what assistance I need, or what has happened in the past. It has nothing to do with that, right? So that is when I will be in a very, very, very bad position, right? Because I would want Axis Bank to tell me that yes, you gave 100 rupees to Seema ma'am, right? But it won't say that. It said that, okay, I don't know. Did you give, right? I don't know. I have never recorded anything. So where will I go? What will I do? So these things don't really you might not be able to connect very well with this, because you'll think that, okay, these are very good names. Why would some bank like Axis and that's regulated by an entity like RBI go rogue? It won't, right? But that's the essence. What if it does? What if and this is just an example. When you extrapolate this into all the activities that you do in your entire day, that is where you'll understand that everything that you're doing, every transaction that you're doing, you're doing an international transaction, your university is issuing certificates to you, and all those activities, if suddenly one day you wake up and one such entity says that, okay, either I've gone out of business, now I have nothing to do with you, or I don't know what you're talking about. If these things happen, whom will you go to? Would you be fine, considering that all your life's work was just went in vain, and it's fine that this was something you were expecting, right? It's not the case, right? This won't happen. So to avoid these things, to avoid this entire set of issues, is when people wanted decentralization to chip in, right? So now, in the case of decentralization, for the same 100 rupees that I would want to transfer to Seema ma'am, what I will do is, I'll tell the network, I am sending 100 rupees, I've sent 100 rupees to Seema ma'am. 10 different people in the network will record that Abhishek gave 100 rupees to Seema ma'am, right? now, and all of them will have the same record. All of them will be exactly on the very same page. And then when the tally would have to be done, you can trust multiple sources, right? Because you know that all these sources will have the same data. Another concept that comes out of discussion here is that so whenever you're recording transactions with 10 different people, you're also believing that in a blockchain network, this is completely theoretical, but you're also believing that in a blockchain network, the core concept, the trust factor is still there. The trust factor is that most of the majority of the participants in a blockchain network will be good. They'll be honest, they'll be truthful. So there's the theory. This theory is this is called 51%, or the attacks against it are called 51% attack. It's a very beautiful concept. It's totally theoretical. No, I believe either hardly a couple, or I guess no blockchain network till now has faced this kind of an attack, 51% attack. It is very theoretical, but what that theory says is that 51% and above participants in a blockchain network are always going to be good. Hence, if you are an entity who wants to, with so many participants which constitute a total of more than 51% to affect the network. What do I mean by saying affect the network is to be able to edit something that has already gone into the network. For example, in this case, to be able to edit that Abhishek Bhattacharya never gave 100 rupees to Seema ma'am, right? So this is something that for which you need a lot of bad people in the same network. That is why another concept that comes in. So this is guys, this is going to happen. In this entire one hour, because there are so many concepts involved. What will happen is that we will jump onto such concepts. See, I've gone away from the PPT because this is such a vast field. It takes days. It took me days when I was starting in blockchain to learn the basics of blockchain, right? So this will happen. So just try catching up and where I'm jumping on different concepts, because these are all important concepts. Okay, so one concept that I was jumping onto is that. So whenever this recording is being done by more than let's say 10 people, the core essence is that the a particular blockchain network is always the strongest when there are more number of participants involved. So that is why everyone says that the more the number of participants, the more the number of nodes in a blockchain. We call them nodes who run a blockchain network. The more the number of nodes, that is when the blockchain network becomes stronger and stronger. Why? Because simple math. If there are 10 different people, you will have to collude with six odd other nodes. If there are 2 people, if there are 2 or 3 nodes, then it would be sufficient that just going for out of 2 out of 3 nodes go malign, and then you can edit the blockchain. And whenever you do that, whenever that 51% attack comes into picture, the entire blockchain falls apart. That is the core concept of blockchain, and that is why the number of participants in a blockchain network is important, right? So all right, so what happens is so that was one concept, very important concept. I've covered a lot of detail on this concept in my own book. So and this is theoretical, but this is an important concept in blockchain. All right. Okay, moving forward. So this is why blockchain was needed. The same example, that now 10 different people would know that I have given 100 rupees to Seema ma'am, and that is when I can have trust that this transaction will never get lost. This transaction will never go off the record, right? So this is why blockchain and decentralization came into picture. This is why people needed decentralization. All right, blockchain is being dubbed as Web 3.0. This is a very side topic. I'll just bring in between quickly. It's 3:50. It's 4 p.m. already. So why it's called blockchain? It's called Web 3.0 because it's being dubbed as Web 3.0 because blockchain in itself. So for example, it started with Bitcoin, right? So I'm myself bringing in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was the first generation of blockchain. So till now there have been 3-4 generations of blockchain. Bitcoin was the first. It had no other functionalities apart from playing the role of a currency. That is all it did. That was first generation. Second generation started with Ethereum. Ethereum brought in, apart from being a cryptocurrency, Ethereum brought in an entire platform. It brought in a platform to create something called smart contracts, a completely new and a very vast topic in itself. But smart contracts are just like regular legal contracts. It's just that they are fired based on certain signals, and then they run on the blockchain network. And once you write a smart contract, you cannot change it, as with anything on blockchain. So Web 3.0 means that a lot of multimedia in terms of blockchain, analytics, artificial intelligence, IoT data, all of these things when combined and put into a blockchain network is going to give the blockchain network the kind of usability, utility that's paramount. That is unparalleled by any other technology as of now. So whatever is built, Internet 2.0 or whatever it is going to be much more successful because all of this multimedia will be sitting on a decentralized network, and that decentralized network base is what is going to be the powerful feature of this entire structure of Web 3.0. That is why it is being dubbed as that. All right. So, so this was covered. Understanding blockchain's value in the terms of an economy. So when sectors like finance, insurance, I was into insurance, then supply chain management, then fraud reduction, cyber security, all these important, very important sectors that are very important to a country. When all of these come on blockchain, when all of these start using blockchain, that is when essentially it takes the form of an economy. So I'll just give you a basic example. There's one network called Dash. The cryptocurrency that the network uses is Dash coin. So what Dash did is that the Dash network just propagated in terms of node across the world. Now what happens is it's a pretty big network. The currency is valued at quite high rates. What it does is it is a network. Now what you can do is you can, as an entity, as a node inside that network, as far as I remember, you can pitch to the network that I want to build a school for underprivileged students. What the network will do is they'll analyze your proposal and then they'll fund you in Dashcoin. Then there are methods you can read for it in deeper ways, that then that entire network will help you with funds from in terms of Dashcoin, and then you can use that fund to do your project if that is important to the entire network. So this is an example where an entire economy was being sustained by just a single blockchain network. Ethereum, a lot of decentralized applications. These are again called dApps, like apps. These are decentralized applications which have blockchain, which run on blockchain. So a lot of decentralized applications have come into picture based on Ethereum, the Ethereum platform. That is why Ethereum is so famous. It is valued at a good rate as of now. Definitely lower than what was there in 2017, but the network is very, very, very usable. The network is very precious, very, very brilliant, right? So these are examples of economies that have been built on top of blockchain networks, on top of networks, underlying blockchain networks, right? So this is what we should everyone look for. I mean, we should look for building new economies and new networks based on everyday usages, everyday activities, like Dash does, like Ethereum does. So even simple food applications, like food delivery application like Zomato, if built on Ethereum, and then if built on Ethereum and then using a currency of its own, can result into an economy like Zomato, right? So these are very good use cases. So then I'll come to this point, that how can smart contracts be used in real world business, right? So in just the example that I gave, that a dApp, a decentralized application, can be built on Ethereum network, which can be similar to Zomato in real life, right? Zomato in the practical, in the physical world, right? So so similarly, how can smart contracts be used? Now I'll give you a very basic example to help you understand that how this is going to this can function, right? What are smart contracts? As I just said, smart contracts are are contracts just like legal contracts. They run at a specified signal, they run at a specified event, and once a smart contract has been written and deployed on a blockchain, you cannot edit it. You can do nothing with it. So that is why it is very important. Okay, a very good thought, food for thought, is that like you write code, even at your college, you write your C++ codes, you write PHP, JavaScript, HTML, everything. You write code, you run it on local, you write code, you run it on local, and then you push to the server. If anything goes wrong on the server, you again test it, you debug it, and again push to the server. This thing is something that is not possible in cases of smart contracts, in cases of blockchain, because blockchain, as I said, if transactions going on blockchain cannot be edited, the same is the case for pieces of code like smart contracts. If there is a piece of code that does not work and you push it to blockchain, first of all, it will cost you. Everything on blockchain costs you, and in the blockchain's native currency. And it is going to cost you, and you cannot do anything with it. So then you'll again have to deploy a new smart contract. You cannot edit it. It is not like the real world we see now, where you just push the new code to the server and the branch gets updated and the code is live, right? It is not the case with blockchain. And that is why the sector of smart contract auditing works very well. I mean, people charge you a lot to audit smart contracts, because that is one of the most important parts of writing a smart contract, right? So I'll continue with the example. So, for example, the Zomato example, if a Zomato is built on blockchain as a decentralized application, one use case of smart contracts could be, so even now means before this COVID thing started and things stopped, Zomato was giving has started giving that 30 minutes or 40 minutes or free kind of a deal, right? So technically it's again centralized. The option, Zomato is a big name, it is a good name, it will not do anything, but again the core concept is it can any day it can say that nahi 39 mein nahi 41 mein pahuncha tha, so the other way around, so it won't give you the thing that you're owed, right? What smart contracts can do is they can be programmed to take this time duration into automatically as an input, and what happens next is that whenever someone wants to someone wants to order, this smart contracts come into play, and whenever the 40 minutes are over, without any human intervention, without any, not even human intervention, without any option for Zomato or for you to pause it, to stop that thing, it will just run. The smart contract will run. The smart contract will check that 40 minutes have passed. I should be giving 20% of the order value back to the customer in its wallet, in its Ethereum wallet, in anything, any other mode of payment. So I have to give that back, right? So that is exactly where a smart contract can be very useful. In that it will run. Why are smart contracts used in industry? Is because people start believing, having faith in you. So we, back in one of the companies I was there, so this is a personal anecdote. One of the airline companies, very popular airline companies, of course you all know. So one of those names, airline names, was in touch with us because they wanted to build an insurance kind of platform on blockchain using smart contracts for their flights, right? So what happens is that MakeMyTrip gives you the option to say yes, that you want a 249 rupees insurance for this entire flight duration, travel insurance, right? What they wanted to do is they wanted to put forth to the customer that take insurance from us. We are smart contract driven, we are blockchain driven. What will happen is that, so they wanted that the user should trust the airline, start trusting the airline, that whenever any such input will happen, what is written there, that the flight will be delayed by a particular amount of time, the flight might be cancelled, or any such problems that are listed there, any of those happen, the decision will not lie with the airline to process the refund or not. It will just automatically be processed to you. That the input goes and the money is processed to your account. So this is something they wanted to do. Could have been a very real world implementation. In fact, a couple of airlines, international airlines, in Europe, I have seen that they have done this. They have implemented smart contracts in their day-to-day travel insurance part, right? So these are two examples which I gave. So these are use cases where blockchain can, or smart contracts particularly, can be very useful, because to gain that trust of the user, that is the whole point of decentralization, isn't it? That moving away from centralization, not leaving the decision in the hands of that one particular food delivery company, hands of one particular airline company, right? It has to be automatically executed. That's how you can build trust. That is where decentralization was needed. All right. Any significant questions till now? I don't know if I can see the questions right now, but let me check. Okay, I'll just continue. I don't know if I can check or not. Okay, so all right, let's move ahead. Okay, so we have mostly covered this, that how did distribution of power come into play, that the reason I've already explained. Okay, so what is consensus in a distributed world? So consensus, so for example, a couple of people are talking, arriving at a consensus is already difficult, right? So that is the crux of when two people fight, when two people argue. That's the crux of the word argue, right? So why do two people argue? Because they are not able to arrive at a consensus, and this is the case between two entities. That is hardly any number. So when two organizations, two governments, when they are not able to arrive at a conclusion, at a consensus after a discussion, how can we expecting that a group of people, okay, when the people are when the number of individuals and entities are increasing, it only gets multiplied, right? So how can we assume that a group of 10 people will arrive at a consensus? So this is the crux, one of the most important parts of a blockchain, that the blockchain network ultimately has to arrive at a consensus that yahi karenge, right? That yes, this is the block of transactions that will process. This particular miner. So these are again concepts that we have to go deep into. 410, it's already 410. So essentially that is how it works, that at the end of the story, the entire network should be at the same page, that okay, this is a particular miner who mined this block of transactions, these are the transactions that are contained in that particular block, and this is the block that goes to the blockchain, that entire process. Okay, So that is what consensus, arrive at a consensus is. Now, since it is a very distributed world, that's all it is about. Since it's a distributed world, it is not possible to. So there are certain mechanisms using which you arrive at a consensus. Few of the very common ones, like the most common one is proof of work. The proof of work consensus mechanism. Bitcoin uses this. What it is basically very basic. You as an entity, as a server, you as a computer system, as a node, basically, what you do is you do some work. The network gives you a problem to solve. That's a mathematical problem, because that's what nodes are good at. Computer systems are good at solving mathematical problems, right? So the network gives you a hard mathematical problem. The difficulty level of that problem increases as more and more nodes are become a part of the network. And so it gives you a problem to solve to all the nodes that are at that time trying to mine. This is called mining. Again, digressing into another topic, this is called mining. When you show a proof that you worked on a particular block of transactions, and so that is what mining is. So so that is what is given to you. Once the first node to solve that problem says that yes, I'll solve the problem. If it is right, there's no right or wrong. So what basically the method is that you solve the problem, then you provide the hash. The hash in a blockchain network is made of, there are certain entities, even I've forgotten the exact values that go into hash. It's so the two very crucial parts of a hash is the previous block that was there, the data, and then a reference to the next block, right? So that's always empty, so that's going to be joined later. And so that is what a block is all about. So the first node to do that is the one is called who gets the who gets to say that yes, I have mined this particular block of transactions. It is considered that particular block mined by that particular node is added to the blockchain, as added to the final blockchain. That is the core agenda, right? To add a block of transactions to the blockchain. That's how the block becomes that's how the chain propagates, right? That's why it is called a blockchain. So and in return the node, the particular miner, gets something in return, which is usually the network's core currency, which in this case is Bitcoin, which currently is 12.5 bitcoins, right? Okay, so yeah. Ma'am, is it fine? Should I go on? Renuka ma'am, is it fine? Should I go on?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Perfect. So, okay, I'm hearing some voices. Okay. So, yeah. So essentially, that is what it is all about. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Where was I? All right. So that's what mining is. That's what. So very popular consensus mechanisms are proof of work, where you show that you worked on a particular problem, but there are a lot of disadvantages. You use a lot of your computing power, a lot of electricity, and a lot of space, where you set up such mining devices, mining units, ASIC miners and all. They consume a lot of power. So this is not a very efficient way of doing it, of arriving at a consensus, but this is what Bitcoin has been using forever. Then there's proof of stake. Ethereum was using that. Part of Ethereum still does. And that is basically, you have some Ethereum with you and you just take it to the network, saying that yes, I'm in the truest sense of the network. I believe in the network and I'm staking my coins. In return, I'll have a voting power. I can say that yes, I'll have a power to it. So this is a detailed concept. We can go into it later. A few more consistent mechanisms are proof of elapsed time, which is simply, and I think only Hyperledger. There's a platform called Hyperledger Sawtooth. I think only that uses proof of elapsed time, which is just like round robin, which you might have read in computer science. It is just that a particular node will be waiting for a random amount of time, and the first node to go out of that wait time is going to be the miner. Is going to be awarded the mining construct, right? So. So these are some of the. So there are so many consensus mechanisms, right, that have come into the market lately as well, which have improved the process, which earlier was an overhead in proof of work, proof of stake, and all. So these are consensus mechanisms. Okay, all right. So it's 4:15. I'll go towards closing this. So there's a very funny Bitcoin story. Again, bringing Bitcoin in the picture. So back in 2010. May 22, 2010. Yes, I remember the date. May 22, 2010. I've forgotten the name of the guy, but one guy in one part of the world, I've again forgotten the part of the world, paid 10,000 bitcoins to buy 2 pizzas. Currently, 2 large pizzas from Domino's you get in about what, 1,500 rupees, right? This guy paid 10,000 bitcoins. 10,000 bitcoins, last I checked, was around one bitcoin currently is around what, $7,000, right? $7,000. He practically paid more than five and a half, like 500 crores and above for two pizzas, and that too, this is right, this is an average, a basic calculation now. So can you imagine paying over 500 crores of Indian rupees as of now, which you could have gotten 1.5 rupees from Domino's now? So this is how Bitcoin has grown in value over the last 10 years, over the last 9-10 years. 2009 Bitcoin came into picture, and since then it was hardly priced at that time. Yeah, as you can imagine, 10,000 bitcoins for two pizzas. But now it is so costly, and this is nothing. Back in 2017 December, and 2018 January, February, this same Bitcoin was worth what, 19-20 lakhs. I mean, which is currently not even 6 lakhs. It was at that time worth either 19 lakhs or 17 lakhs or so. So that's a huge journey that Bitcoin has had, and most of it has been speculation, because and it's this Bitcoin cryptocurrency, all these cryptocurrency exchanges, trading in cryptocurrencies, and now so many instruments have come in, financial instruments have come in, like futures, margin trading. All of these things are happening on exchanges like Binance and Binance and WazirX and ZapPay and all. So ZapPay is Indian, ZapPay is again opened. So but yeah, most of it is speculation. So always, as students, especially as students, when you're not earning, you should be very wary of all these constructs. You should be away from Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, would be my personal opinion, personal advice, that you should be completely away from all these constraints of cryptocurrencies. Do not invest in cryptocurrencies right now. You would not understand the crypto market as of now. It's so volatile. Even in COVID situation, when the Sensex is so volatile in this country, Bitcoin is maybe 5 times more volatile right now, or especially other cryptocurrencies which are called altcoins. So there is Bitcoin, and every other cryptocurrency is called altcoin, alternative coin. So all altcoins are so vulnerable to this volatility. You're going to lose a lot of money, and that to parent money. So just stay away from it, would be my personal opinion. All right, so okay, so yeah, that was one story that I wanted to share. Okay, towards the end, I think we are towards the end. Some very quick facts about blockchain. The blockchain market is expected to be more than $3 trillion by 2024. 2024 is not far away. It is a humongous number. Okay, this one thing is that this graphic might be from before COVID scenario. So now this 3 trillion might not reach that. It might be 50% of that. But even if a particular market reaches 1.5 trillion of what's projected, 50% of what's projected, that is also a humongous number. So this is one of the reasons why to look at blockchain from a career perspective. You are doing anything in blockchain, not talking about cryptocurrency trading, but anything to build a career in blockchain, it can be very fruitful, seeing by the numbers, right? It is estimated that banks could save $8 to $12 billion annually if they used blockchain technology. Again, this is something, of course, this is something we are doing. As warehouse receipt lending, our primary customers are banks. The primary thing that we pitch to the banks is that you, as a bank, face millions in frauds in warehouse receipt lending every year. I mean, 2014 Citibank faced millions in frauds. 2017 or 16 NSCL scam in India was more than 5,000 crores, and most of it is faced by banks only, because they believe that the frauds, these are multiple spending frauds. The same funding, the same loan is given against two different collaterals, right? So when this happens, bank is the one to lose the most, right? So this is definitely, I can verify this, that yes, these numbers mean something, because this is what we are targeting ourselves as well. Okay, there's a stat about Bitcoin ATMs. Then 90% of North American and European banks are investing on blockchain. That is true. JP Morgan is a very good example. JP Morgan started with being very averse to use of blockchain and blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. Now it has itself built a platform on Ethereum. It has forked Ethereum. Forking Ethereum. Forking a blockchain means that you take the current code of a blockchain, you fork it, and you make your separate branch, just like you make it in your Git. You make a separate branch and start working on it. That is what JP Morgan has done, and they have done it for Quorum. That's called Quorum, and we ourselves are based on Quorum blockchain. World is based on Quorum blockchain. So JP Morgan started with being very averse to blockchain, but then they have built their own platform, own blockchain per se. And a lot of banks are investing. Okay, in India there's Bank Chain. That's not restricted to India, but was started by SBI as far as I remember. It was some time back, and SBI, Axis Bank, Yes Bank, Manchester United Bank, then Barclays. I believe all these good names are part of bank chain. Now 26 plus banks are a part of bank chain. All major mainstream banks, right? Okay, over the last 5 years, VCs have invested more than $1 billion into blockchain companies. That's true. That is why we are striving to have a foot here, because because companies are raising investments. That's true. All right. Okay, I think this is last or the second last slide, I believe. Yes, this is the last slide, second last slide. So, okay, what is next? What is next for in blockchain in 2020? Now, this list again might get a bit staggered because of COVID-19, because no one had foreseen it. But still, the essence of it, the essence of the trends that have been followed in this particular image, that will essentially follow. I'll just quickly take 2 minutes and pick up some of these. So blockchain as a service by big tech companies, very true. Azure, AWS, every other name that you know in the cloud business are also providing blockchain as a service. We are providing platform as a service based on blockchain. All these kinds of technologies are what coming up. Federated blockchain moves to the center stage. This is one very important point which I wanted to speak about, is because we are into federated blockchain, right? We are working on a permission blockchain. Quorum is a permission blockchain. Just give you a basic 1 minute primer of what a permission blockchain is. These are the various categories of blockchains, right? One is a public blockchain like Bitcoin, Ethereum, where every transaction that happens, you are free to see. Just go to any Bitcoin Explorer. If we had the time to show you hands-on, this would have been a part of the hands-on. This is usually a part of the hands-on lectures that I give. So you go to any Explorer, you can see the Bitcoin transactions that are happening. Whoever is sending whatever to anyone across the world, you can see the transaction. It is anonymous. You cannot see who sent what, but you can see what was sent, what was transacted. But what federated blockchains do is they offer you the same blockchain network capabilities, immutability, transparency, everything same, but anonymity is not there. The nodes in a particular network know each other. So for example, we have to, if we are setting up a permission network, we have to know the bank has to know the warehouse has to know the management agency. All of these nodes have to know each other, that who is what. So the anonymity is not there, but then the security and there's a lot of less transparency, because you cannot just make your banking transaction, loan transactions open to the entire world to see, right? So this is what permission blockchains are, and this is what has a future. So public blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereem had a very less future in when banking and transactions were concerned, but federated or permissioned blockchains is what the banks are very, very motivated about, because this serves their purpose of taking blockchain as a technology, but also helps them avoid the public transparency, right? So this is very true. Federated blockchain is center stage. Governments are very interested in this. So Maharashtra government is interested in us because we are of a federated blockchain. One of the reasons, because they cannot keep the data open, right? What else? Interoperability in between blockchain networks. So before I started this webinar, ma'am was asking that transaction speed and all, that is a concern in blockchain networks, right? Interoperability solves that pretty well. I mean, has started to solve that. So interoperability between blockchain networks is going to help you run your own blockchain in your own on-premise servers, and then can communicate with any other blockchain running on any other part of the world, just like internet started working. LANs could connect, WANs could connect, right? So this is one technology that was needed. So currently, on a very, very bigger note, currently blockchain, I personally believe blockchain is at a position where internet was back in the days of right after DARPA, right? When Windsurf and all were taking the network internet to a bit of wider audience from DARPA. That is where blockchain is right now. So just have a look where where the internet has come. That is where we believe that Web 3.0 is blockchain network with AI, with data analytics, with all these technologies, because it has humongous capabilities, it has humongous possibilities, right? Economy and finance will lead blockchain applications, which is already true, you must be knowing. Blockchain integration into government agencies, again something we are targeting. We are bringing Maharashtra State Warehouse Corporation nodes on the blockchain, so they are already processing warehouse receipt finance. We are bringing them on blockchain. This is exactly what we are also doing. So a lot of points we are covering ourselves with our startup, right? All right. Okay. Last, demand for blockchain networks is something. Hold on. Demand for blockchain network is something that is definitely the key concept of this webinar today. I wanted to tell you that there's a huge demand for blockchain networks. Just go online and search for LinkedIn's top market or top skill for a job in 2020. The number one is the number one is blockchain development. People who have these skills. Another story says that people who have blockchain development skills. So this is the most important part of the webinar for you all students. So please listen to it very carefully. This is what you've been waiting for, I believe. Students people who have blockchain capabilities and skills are earning up to 3 times more than normal software engineers, who know mean stack and MERN stack and all. Just that people who know blockchain are earning 3 times more. This is a huge number. If you are getting a job of 5 lakh CTC, you can expect over 10 just by knowing blockchain, just by knowing Bitcoin, just by knowing blockchain development, smart contract development, smart contract auditing, and all these kinds of skills. They are not easy to pick up, but not very difficult to pick up. First, understand the blockchain basics of blockchain, the concepts of blockchain. You'll be very easily be able to pick up other technologies and other skills as well. Right? Okay. Okay. I'll just close with one slide. I wanted to speak this. I was not asked to make this slide. I was happy to make this slide. Amity University has a lot of prospect in blockchain for you. Just like if I don't know how many of you had joined when Bansal sir started speaking about before this webinar. Bansal sir himself and Department of CSE, IT, they are already planning a lot of things on blockchain. They are planning projects. When I went to the university, Bansal sir was only talking about keep project kar lete. So start doing projects in blockchain. This is something that is going to help you a lot, right? So Amity University, our own department is trying to encourage a lot of students to get into blockchain because the department believes that this is the future. You must have heard him heard Bansal sir speak before the webinar started, and it has a lot of prospects. He's planning on webinars, he's planning on maybe on e-summits or conferences. So a lot of is going on in his mind. If he gets good people, good mentors, good faculty, good industry people, he will be able to pull it off very efficiently. Department will be able to pull it off. So this is a lot of prospects. I am really wishing that I would have been a part of Amity at this point in time. I would have flourished literally in blockchain while I was in college. I would have been in college if now. So but you have that opportunity. You have the department thinking about blockchain in that sense. Apart from that, Amity Future Academy have run their free month right now. They are running it free month, and blockchain technology management is a course that they are offering. They have over 30,000 students right now registered for that free month. They have taught over 70,000-80,000 students in total. Amity is one of the first institutions to make the entire blockchain study and degrees and all online. Make use of that. IITs did not do that. Amity University did. So that is a huge possibility that you have right where you're sitting. Right. So that is what it is. So I think I'm done. All right. Shameless plug. My book is live on Amazon. Please go ahead, check it out. It has been written by, apart from me, it has been written by Mr. Srinivas and Gokul. One is ex-PwC and one is Srinivas is principal consultant for blockchain for Indian government, for the government of India. He's doing a lot of great work in the country. And apart from that, Amity Online's blockchain course that Amity Online takes, he is the program director for that. So yeah, please, and this is published by BPB. Please hope the book to be very good. And that's it. Yeah, more or less. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. I think that's done. I'm open for questions.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can I ask?
Yes, please. We'll take a couple of questions because I think
Ishwar.
we've run over from the time, or we have 2 minutes from 4:30. We'll take a couple of questions. Everything else on chat. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Ishwak and I'm in my 3rd year right now.
Right. Yeah.
And I have previously worked on a project in blockchain.
Right.
And when I started the project, I started with using Hyperledger as my primary go-to for blockchain.
Right. Which platform in Hyperledger?
Hyperledger Fabric.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but the only problem that I faced with Hyperledger majorly during my initial days was that there wasn't enough reference material available for Hyperledger. The only thing that I found online for Hyperledger Fabric was the manual published by IBM. So what would be a few good resources for studying Hyperledger? Because
that is the whole point. So I'll cut you in between. So that is the whole point. blockchain is so new to the industry, people don't know what to do about it, right? People don't know what to do with the technology, right? Currently, whenever you face a problem in Java, in PHP, in MERN stack, mean stack, you go online, you on Stack Overflow, you are very certain that you'll find a solution to it, right? In blockchain, in terms of blockchain, in blockchain's case, that is not happening yet, is because it is so new. You cannot do anything. Even I can't suggest you any better resource. So even for Ethereum, nowadays I don't know if the scene has changed, but when back 1 year back, people when asked me about Ethereum, I have not worked a lot on Ethereum, but people when asked me about Ethereum, I have said only one thing, that please go and refer to the documentation published by its creator, Vitalik Buterin, right? So he himself has written some good articles, but how much can the founder do? How much can himself he alone do, right? But that was the only available good content in the market. And I will tell you that IBM's Hyperledger is still good. It is still publishing a lot. I personally know a lot of people who are involved in Hyperledger. They write well, they write on Medium, they write on a lot of places, but believe me, that is all you'll find. So that is one that is one problem in when you're learning, setting out to learn blockchain. But then again, you have to understand, if you invest more hours and a lot of determination, you will eventually find an answer, right? You always do. You start doing something, if you're more perseverant than anyone else in your who accompany you, you are going to outrun them, right? So maybe strive for that. Maybe make sure that this is the time when people are having the same problem, they don't have a lot of resources available. Maybe this is the time, spend a lot of time on Hyperledger, on Fabric, on Sawtooth, on Indie, right? Hyperledger Indie and all, and see that how you can learn more than anyone else is doing, and then start writing articles. This is a very right time for advancing in blockchain. That is why I plan to write a book on blockchain, because there were not many. If I search for Java, there are thousands of books. Does not make sense to write another book on Java, right? But it completely made sense to me. It completely made sense to BPB as well to write a book on blockchain, because there are not many, right? So I would suggest that this is how it is. Make use of it. That's all you'll get.
Yeah, another thing that I wanted to ask is that to use Hyperledger Fabric, we need to clone the Git repository of Fabric and then go on to use it.
As far as I haven't personally worked on Hyperledger Fabric. I'm not Hyperledger guy, but as far as I know, you can just poke it and you can start working. As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone else, or shall we, ma'am? Shall we close or take questions offline, or what should?
Yes, if anybody has questions, can ask.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. I am Nishant.
Yeah. Hey, Nishant.
Actually, I was planning to do work on blockchain regarding the news app.
Okay.
So today we think that there is many duplicacy or the news are not right always.
Okay.
So if we push all the news and make a consensus of 51% on the blockchain from the nodes which accept the news or rate the news as okay, so we can eliminate fake news using that thing.
Okay, all right. That's it. Should I answer?
One more question, that if I need to build a blockchain, which language should I go for? Is it JavaScript or Golang?
All right, got it. So, all right. So I'll answer the first question first. Okay, and this is the last question. We are taking everything offline. I'll give you my WhatsApp and email. So, all right. So the first question was that, okay, a very good concept that I left in the webinar while teaching you all, something which has nothing to do with blockchain, which blockchain cannot do anything well with. Do not put blockchain in it. It is only going to increase the overhead cost. The big problem that we always face is that blockchain still is very costly. Every transaction charges you a lot, not a lot, but still every transaction is based on charge. Then consumes gas, right? then a lot of systems are not capable of handling blockchain, and not integrating blockchains into the existing systems is a huge task as of now. That is why the demand for blockchain engineers, that is why the payment is thrice than as compared to normal engineers who just have to integrate APIs, right? So, but essential thing is that do not use blockchain if there is really no core need. There is not a core problem that blockchain is going to solve in your in your app. So here also, tell me one thing, Nishant, how would the 51% of the nodes, how would they know that this news is correct? How would they know? So I mean, so for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, 10 faculties and 2 of us. All right, are those
like the TV channels or other media guys?
Got it. So you want to say that that all the competitors, Z News, CNBC, all the competitors will come together and say that this news is correct or not. Then who is publishing that news? Who are you? You are a blockchain platform. You are publishing that news, right?
Yes.
does not make sense, does not make business. So it has to make technological sense, as well as, honestly, I'm being very honest with this implementation, because I have personally seen a lot of instances where people have just thought ki blockchain karte, let's do blockchain, and then they have come out with, I'm not saying that this idea is that, but honestly, that I've seen people come out with very simple concepts and try to put blockchain into it, and then it all fell apart, right? So yeah, so here I would personally think that you'll have to first understand. So if you're doing this as a college project, it's fine, theoretically it is fine, but in the real world sense, first it has to have a technological aspect, and then it also has to have a business aspect, right? So this would not have a business aspect, because the news platforms might not do it, right? Because then the whole concept of news channels is that they get to publish by their own channel, right? So why would they come together and say that this particular news is right, and that goes to your name, right? It goes to your platform's name. One. Secondly, okay, another very important concept. I cannot cover it right now. It's a bit technical. It's called oracles. Oracles in blockchain are tools that provide you information from outside. It can be mutual fund rates. It can be weather information. All these things. Because a core concept of blockchain is that, unlike everyday websites, just where you just use third-party APIs and take data from outside, you use APIs to fetch Yahoo stock prices from Yahoo Finance. You cannot do that in blockchain. A blockchain cannot contact or communicate with the outside world. It does not happen that way. So that is why we need oracles. Now in this case also, you need oracles to push the news. So it is a huge process. It will become a huge process where the news will first come to Oracle. Oracle will push to the network, and then the network will decide whether this news is right or not. It is going to be difficult, but yeah, it can happen theoretically as a college project. It is a good idea. For that, you will just have to ask 6 nodes to say yes whenever they receive, yes or no whenever they receive data from Oracle, but that is only till where it would be restricted. Did I answer this question?
Yeah. And one more thing about the business aspect, that why would banks be coming to blockchain? Because how would they gain the interest that they get on the loan and all things using blockchain?
Very good question. So why will they be interested in coming onto blockchain is because I'll take our own personal case, that where we are helping banks do warehouse lending via our blockchain based platform, right? So what they will do, why they will come to us, is because they are facing millions in frauds every year, because of the unavailability of a system that can help them with avoid these frauds. So if we are helping them avoid these frauds, they'll come with us. If we are just providing so some things that they every day do. So for example, every bank every morning, Axis Bank entirely every morning must be taking attendance of all the employees, right? They do not need a blockchain system for that. So this is again an example to your previous question as well. If we come up with a HR software and we say that the entire attendance is based on blockchain, they don't need it, honestly, right? That is when the banks will not be interested in us, because they are not facing frauds and financial loss by not having their HR system on blockchain, right? So, but yeah, in this case, they will be interested because they will be able to entire process, lending as well as repayment of the loan, based on that interest rate, principal amount, whatever the payment schedule, everything will be on blockchain. Everything will be recorded, and they will know that in return to this, I'm not facing frauds. The same collateral, the same warehouse receipt can't be brought to 2 different banks and asked for loan, because ek warehouse receipt pe you've got a loan, you cannot the other bank will know that this receipt already has a lien on it, right? So this is why banks will be interested. This is why banks are already interested. Yes Bank, IndusInd Bank, they are already interested in working with us. So we are getting traction. So that's why we know that this is something banks were looking for.
Okay.
And Golang is a very good language for blockchain. It works very well. It has brilliant, as far as I read last. I didn't experience a lot, but Golang had very good hyper threading capabilities. Awesome. I mean, you can definitely look at Golang, but you will need JavaScript in any case. I mean, in front end at least you need JavaScript, so don't leave JavaScript. Yeah, I think that's it. I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Abhishek, for taking time and providing these great insights about this promising blockchain technology.
Thank you.
I'm sure this session must have created more interest in the future technology. I thank you.
Same, ma'am. I believe the same. I really wish that students really go ahead and they want their questions to be cleared. They can ask me. I believe I've been into this industry since the last 3.5 years. Typically, the time since when the blockchain has been very famous. So I believe I'll be able to answer the questions, and I would really wish a lot of students converting to blockchain. I mean, as because they'll
Even Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Even Abhishek.
Yeah.
As I was telling, Dubai government has made and asked bank to use blockchain,
Right.
might be many business owner in India is not interested because they want to run away with their competition. Let's say I have booked a flight
Right.
today with some local company,
Right.
and if it is refund, they are always happy not to refund, just
Right.
create problem with
Exactly,
the customers. But
exactly.
there are some advanced countries like US, UK, Canada, Australia, and
Germany
Dubai,
and all, they
where
are- yes.
government is very strict.
Yes.
Government is very strict, and
Yeah.
they want there should not be any exploitation of their customer, and customer is God. You go to US,
Yes,
you
yes.
buy anything,
Yes.
after 1 month you can return. But in India, it never happens. If there is any problem, nobody hears.
Yeah, that's true.
Government to make to justify and satisfy their customers,
Yeah.
to make market very competitive.
Yes.
Even vendors are not interested, but government will say you should have blockchain in your implementation, so
Yes.
that tomorrow,
Yes.
whatsoever agreement has been made, it has to be rejected immediately. And if there is a refund,
Right.
refund must be processed.
Exactly.
And businessmen should not come in between. Let's say today,
Yeah.
there is insurance.
Yes.
I have done a life insurance. Something to someone has happened, and now they are claiming nobody is giving them money.
That's
so family
true.
is highly disturbed.
That's
so
true.
could be government is becoming strict,
Yes.
and government want that none of
Right.
their citizens should be exploited by the companies.
Right.
So they are making it mandatory
Right.
to ensure that even there is a cost, because businessmen in India are very happy.
Right. Right.
Give anything, don't give anything, how you will ask for refund, how you will go companies from Calcutta.
Right.
You don't have to go to Calcutta, you write them mail, they don't reply, you
Yes.
contact them. So a
Yes.
lot of
Consumer
fraud
problems.
happens.
Yes. That is why smart
So
contracts.
case
Sir.
students,
Yes.
even for blockchain,
Yeah.
this could be government will start making it mandatory, because with that transparency,
Right.
their citizens cannot be exploited, and
Right.
customers should not run here to there. Even implementation cost is higher.
Right.
They will say, no, you have to use blockchain,
Right.
so that there should not be any fraud,
Exactly.
and their citizens' interest can be protected. This is the reason I was telling.
Yes.
Dubai government has it mandatory, and they're saying everybody come on blockchain.
Right.
Because
Right,
of
sir.
transparency and strong implementation.
Absolutely,
Company
sir.
does not want anything to give back.
Exactly.
But when government says it should be a contract, it should be refunded, blockchain technology must be used.
That's where
so
smart
that
contracts
could be
come in.
another thing.
Right, sir. That's where smart contracts come in. That's why, and India is also doing, sir. I would personally say my co-author is involved in the government initiatives as well. India is forming policies, but India is still lagging behind, honestly. But it's still
Yeah.
in the way of forming policies. But even countries
So
like
could be-
China, yes, they
So
are.
could be in next future,
Yes.
Abhishek, could be in next future, somebody say book airline ticket from me, I am on blockchain.
Right.
So it makes an attraction
Yeah.
for customer to go on a platform which has used blockchain technology, because in that agreement which they are giving
Yes.
before booking,
Yes.
it will get implemented, and if anything happens,
Yes.
if flights are getting cancelled due to
Exactly,
COVID,
as I said,
anybody
yes.
who booked the flight, they
It'll
will
get
get the
refund.
refund money.
Immediately, without the airline's intervention. Exactly the example I gave for smart contracts. This is what we were building, sir.
Yes.
This is what we were building in that startup for
See,
one of the biggest airlines in the country.
Abhishek, company does not want a smart contract. They
It does
want
not
loose
want,
contract.
but people-
customer
yes.
want company they are using should have a smart contract, so that tomorrow at the time of refund or claim,
Right.
they should not suffer.
Right,
so that
right.
could be another competition which will come in market.
Yes, exactly. This is why, sir, I'm telling you, this is why that particular, that's a big airline in India. This is why they were just planning to do this, because they knew that they'll face a lot of losses if they implement blockchain technology. But then they knew that telling in the market that they are the first airline to do so will bring them a lot of good name, and a lot of people will start saying yes to that 249 rupees of insurance, which they don't do a lot of times right now. So these are good use cases, and even governments are taking it very seriously. In Indian government is on a plan, but it's in the wider future. But even China, countries like China are working on central bank digital currency, what is CBDC, right? Not a good time to take China's name, but yeah, this is the kind of work the other countries are doing by creating something central is happening, sir. Policies are being built. That's very good field to get into.
Because what will happen if your policies are strong, you
Right.
can go global easily.
Right.
If they have any product from China, somebody has purchased from India, he cannot go to China.
Right.
But if it is a blockchain, strong policy, strict agreement, so
Right.
in that case, customers can get the refund
They'll trust.
if any problem as per the commitment.
It's all about
so
customer
that could
trust.
Be,
Yeah.
That could be, yeah. So commitment nowadays for customer is very important. So
Right.
if I got to know even now, student knows about blockchain, that it is a strong agreement, strict agreement.
Right.
So they will go and buy things on portal which
Right.
is using blockchain technology. So there will be a competition now
Right.
that to come on a blockchain,
It is
it will
already
become
there.
mandatory for good company to be there in that.
Right, sir. It is already there. A lot of competition is coming up. A lot of.
Right? So,
Yes.
so that would be the another reason
Right.
where everybody will come on that. Yes?
Right.
Good.
Right, sir. Right.
Perfect.
Absolutely right. Yes. That is why our students have a
these
lot of
students-
focus to be there. Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
And technology person should always be happy. See,
Of course, we are.
if they use blockchain technology, a lot of problem will come. So software engineers are always in demand.
Right.
Any problem in security will come, software engineer will be in
Right,
demand. So
right.
for you, it is always an opportunity. And even during COVID,
Right.
technologies are very much in demand.
Yes,
Right?
yes. This
You
is the
see
only thing that's
any
helping because
company-
everything else has stopped. Only technology is working. We are able to have classes
Right.
here because of Teams, right? So this is what is working.
Yes.
So blockchain is there. I mean, technology companies are the only ones that are sustaining well now. So yes,
So it's a good news for technology persons.
very much, sir.
That you still from home can work, but anybody doing production, they
Yes.
cannot do production until
Exactly.
those machines are there. They'll go on a machine.
Exactly.
So for technology person, opportunities are coming,
Yes.
and more will come in time because this
Right.
COVID
Right.
has taught many things now.
Right.
So everybody will ensure that they have very strong technical infrastructure at home,
Right.
at office, so that tomorrow, if anything such as COVID comes in future, everybody is ready and upgraded with the infrastructure. And I'll tell you, 5G will come. 5G will
is
solve
already,
all the
yes.
problems.
Yes.
So could be the next revolution will be 5G,
right,
where
sir.
technology will be very fast.
Exactly. So when I was talking about this Web 3.0, so 5G is a big consideration in bringing that Web 3.0 because a lot of multimedia, blockchain, AI, and all cannot be supported by the Web 2.0 that we see now,
Yeah.
the 4G that we see now. So yes, sir, you're absolutely right on that. Yes.
Otherwise, I'm finding a lot of problem even at my home, connecting with MS Team, connecting with WebEx.
Yes, I faced
If more
it.
student comes, and if more student comes, we find problems started coming.
Right.
Computing is not that fast.
Right.
Even internet is not that fast.
Right.
So this has really given a
5G
thought
will help.
to
Yes.
everybody that technology and network is very, very important. So keep up to date.
Right,
So
sir.
everybody will keep in future. And next, after COVID, it will be a good revolution for technology. Definitely, technology person will be in demand, but you have
Right.
to
Exactly.
you have to skill, unskill, and reskill in the area
It's
where
about
there is demand.
skilling the people.
That's
So
important.
I'll just make one mention. So as you said that right now manufacturing companies are not working in these circumstances, but technology people and technology companies are flourishing. Why? So I'll give you a very
Yeah.
personal example of last evening. I don't know if I said that in the webinar, but we were doing a pilot with 5 warehouses. So warehouses is open as a part of emergency services right now, even amidst this lockdown. But people are still facing a lot of problem because the warehouses are not digitized well or they are not on a good network. That is why right of last evening from that pilot of 5 warehouses in Maharashtra, we just got an order of 1000 warehouses. That is humongous, especially when we are considering a time like COVID-19, when people are losing jobs, people are losing business, things are shut down, governments are shut down. I mean, only essential services are working, but we got 1000. So why 1000 warehouses? Because we are providing the technology. We are not bringing you goods, we are not bringing you grains, we are not the banks, we are providing you the technology. That is why we got that. So this is a big thing that happened with us yesterday. So that's how we are helping by building that technology, sir. Absolutely right.
Yes. And you are in demand because you have some skills which are in demand.
Totally,
So
sir.
we always tell students to upgrade your skills, be
course.
on the latest platform with the latest technology.
Right.
If you are using tool which is a decade old, good to learn.
Yeah.
But in market, you should have the latest tool so that once you go in the interview
Right.
of any top company,
Right.
they see those latest tool, latest profile,
Right.
and you are talking on those latest terms.
Right.
They will definitely get impressed.
Right,
And
sir.
whatsoever project, technology, they can teach you. You can always
Right.
learn, relearn
Right, sir.
in industry
This was-
also because
yes, this was the
logic
one-
is very,
yes.
very important.
This is one of the key criteria that people are taking while hiring people now across the industry, big companies, small companies. Even this is what made a difference when I was hiring the 2 students from third year computer science Amity. This was a
Right.
key factor because they knew something more than their peers
Yeah.
did, whom I interviewed, and that is none of it is taught in the college. Neither at our time, not
And
now.
Abhishek, even I'm
Yeah.
asking all the students to be on LinkedIn, and you will find
Yes.
only 20% students are on LinkedIn. They are not talking
That is
to any
yes,
CEO,
that is the
CIO.
worst. That
They
is
are not
actually the worst part.
seeing what
Yes.
CEO. Huh?
Yes, sir. LinkedIn is the thing. So people have started replacing the CVs with LinkedIn. So exactly.
Yes.
So
So you should suggest them.
yes, sir.
You should
So
tell alumni,
everyone.
you should tell your juniors what they should do.
So everyone, yes, please, please, please. I hate to see when someone gives me a LinkedIn profile, or either someone says that, oh sorry, I don't have a LinkedIn profile. That just strikes me off, and I hate to see a badly formed LinkedIn profile. Go on and go see Bansal sir's LinkedIn profile. Go see. There are a lot of people who are go see Ajit Chauhan sir's LinkedIn profile. They are already they don't have time, but still they're maintaining their LinkedIn profile because that is the face of it right now. I'll give a very direct example. So right out as of yesterday, Arun Prakash sir actually had approached me for a webinar at the new college he's a part of. He asked me for one thing, that can you send me a CV. I had to tell him that CV since when I've become an entrepreneur, I've never edited my CV, but LinkedIn is something I can give you, sir, because that is updated till yesterday. This helped. This is what is helping. Direct anecdotes. Please work on your LinkedIn profiles, everyone. Please, that is what is going to give you a job now. CVs are fine.
And
CVs are there to stay.
even if you see other LinkedIn profile, you also get to know what you should do so
Exactly.
that you also become successful like him.
Absolutely, sir. One thing I use every day.
What
Yes.
upgradation they have done in their skills.
Right. Yeah, see
So
your
that's
peers.
very important.
Yes, exactly. See your peers. If they have done something, you might consider doing an alternative and going ahead of it, right? How will you know that what anyone is doing if you're not on a platform like LinkedIn? Stop being on Facebook. LinkedIn is where you should
But
be.
no, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Abhishek, another thing, they are not on Facebook.
Yeah.
They are all on Instagram.
Instagram, sir. Yeah. So that is why Facebook bought Instagram, no? Because Facebook knew that now they'll be on Instagram. They'll not be on Facebook. But please leave all these platforms for some time and seriously concentrate on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your face now, at least in the career world, especially if you're in third or fourth year. I remember to have made my LinkedIn spotless by the time I was in second year. So it is good time that you think. It has always helped me. I can tell now after 5 years, 4 years, that it has helped me every part of my life. My LinkedIn profile. That is the only thing that is helping me. Yeah.
Because 200 plus million users are there.
Right.
So
Right.
anything good, let's say today you have attended workshop, you upload on LinkedIn by saying good comment onto
Right.
it. So other
Right.
HR, company CEO, CIO will see your CV.
Right.
Will see, oh, this student is working so hard, very dynamic.
Right.
So one day they might call you because they always have a requirement, but they don't have time to
These technologies
see who is good, who is bad.
Yes. Sir, I'll give a very, very quick but very, very encouraging, that something that has encouraged me a lot. I'll try to give that to the students now. Via LinkedIn, as of just yesterday, I sent, so Facebook or email, if I send a request or something to very big people, like for example, consider one of the fathers of the blockchain, right? His name is Dr. Stornetta. I just sent him a request. In fact, Bansal sir, when I was creating the proposal for you, I had that is just 2 days back, I had sent him a request. Yesterday evening, I got that he has accepted. He is one of the fathers of blockchain. This wouldn't have happened if I would have emailed him or I would have reached out to him on Facebook. Sir, one of the fathers of the internet, Vinton Cerf. I had a discussion with him on LinkedIn. Could I have imagined that a 17 pass out guy is going to have the conversation with one of the fathers of the internet? He actually got affected by coronavirus. He was at 76 years of age, he got affected, but 10 days later he's fine. And at this time I had a discussion with him whether he's fine or not, and he replied. All that was on LinkedIn. People are not replying. Such big people are replying me on LinkedIn. It wouldn't have happened on any other platform. Yeah.
But Abhishek, on
Yes.
that platform you have asked, how are you? Hope you are well now. Please take care. We pray God.
Yeah.
So with these things, they get so much excited that somebody from India is taking care and giving best wishes.
Right, sir,
so he said, why not help?
Okay, that was the most encouraging part, that when he was well, I had actually wished him that glad to know that you are well. I hope that so Windsurf, after giving us the internet, he's working on interplanetary internet system, right? After giving the Earth one internet, he's working on interplanetary system. I just told him that I hope you work a lot on interplanetary internet system. His one-liner reply was, awesome, I'm about to go on a call today itself to take interplanetary internet system forward. That was so encouraging for me. Someone at 76 is using LinkedIn and email at such vast lengths. People at third year, fourth year should definitely be inspired from this. I got a lot of encouragement from this. Honestly, anyone would, right? He's one of the biggest guys, right? So yeah, definitely, sir, your points are very right regarding the platform. It is the place to be.
So that's good.
Yes.
This is the platform you can talk to your alumni, say, good morning, sir, how are you?
Yes.
I'm your junior. So
Yes.
there is always a relation.
Right,
On
right.
that basis, they will reply. Even a lot of Amity and Abhishek, your batch, your seniors, all over the world they are settled. They are working with top companies and doing very different assignments, very successful. As
Right.
you are successful entrepreneur, they are also
Thank
doing
you, sir.
many new things, new ideas.
Agreed.
So this is the platform you can get connected with your alumni, and they will definitely support their juniors than anybody else.
Definitely,
if
sir.
there is a requirement.
Everyone wants to give back to their college, and that's the proudest feeling that you have. Just I was speaking with Seema ma'am, and this is the proudest feeling I always have whenever I receive a call from any of the faculties from the college. When I received a call from you, sir, 2 days back, it was one of the proudest moments. So happy to
Yes.
give back in any length as possible.
So that's good.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
what we want. Even
Yes.
they all should realize and make difference in their career, so that tomorrow each one of them are successful.
Definitely.
Do something good, great, something
Yes.
out of the box. Because in
Yes.
CV, nobody is interested to see
No one.
BTech from this.
No
Everybody
one,
will
sir.
do
No
BTech
one.
from X or Y university.
Yes.
What apart from BTech you are doing? Everybody is BTech.
Right,
So
sir.
BTech is the minimum criteria.
Sir,
So
BTech
what
is nothing
more than
because
BTech you have done?
sir, because before hiring these two students from Amity third year, Sakshi and Suraj, so before doing that, I had interviewed for the same position before they applied. I had interviewed a couple of IIT Kharagpur guys. I mean, one of them was from
Yes.
computer science at IIT Kharagpur. Sir, even Sundar Pichai was not from computer science, even though he was from IIT Kharagpur. But
Yes.
I could not hire them because they were not up to the mark. Honestly speaking, sir, our students,
Yes.
both of them were up to the. Otherwise, why would I have? Right? So honestly, this is again another pointer that people should be inspired from. It's does the
So
college does not
Abhishek,
matter.
that is the reason we have
Yes.
introduced artificial intelligence course.
Right.
Now we are introducing blockchain,
Right.
data science, everything we have introduced because mastery will be done based on the project, but
Right.
theoretical foundation can always motivate you to just understand the basic.
Right.
If you know the basic, once you get into the industry,
Yes,
you can do mastery.
absolutely,
But at
absolutely.
least keep on doing the basic. It does
Absolutely.
not expect that you do the mastery, you file patent on blockchain.
Yes, that
but
is
at
going to
least
be
if
very
you
valuable.
can do little,
Yes.
put your in your biodata. Somebody can pick you. He knows the basic. So making prepared for advance will be easy. Less time will be required.
Right,
Foundation is already there.
Right.
So with those advantages, they pick those persons in which these basic advanced skills are available, and that is the reason we have introduced all latest course
Right.
in our curriculum,
Right.
which we feel student will get a lot of advantage when they say they have
I know.
gone for a subject in AI, data science,
Right.
cloud computing,
Yes.
all these things. So
Right.
this really helps them. Yes.
Yes, I know.
Perfect.
I know. Yes, sir. Amazing. That is something, as I said in my own slide, that Amity is doing. They are really privileged to be at a college who's actually doing a lot in blockchain and AI and data science and all these technologies. Yes, and it has helped me even in my third year and fourth year. So now it has only increased with you all being there. It has only increased in magnitude.
Very good.
Yeah.
And we
you, sir.
wish you all the best.
Thank you
Let's
so
be
much,
in
sir.
touch
Thanks a lot.
and look forward many such forum.
Yes.
Whenever you have any idea, anything, please be in
Sure.
touch.
Sure, sir.
Keep in touch with faculty.
Sure.
Keep on doing some such workshops. I'm sure
Definitely.
these workshops will definitely make difference. See,
I
it's
hope
not
so.
technology. You are not here to teach them technology.
Right, they can
should
learn it
know
from
how
anywhere.
to learn by themselves.
Yes,
If they
yes.
go on Google, lot of code and PPT and videos are available. Only
Right.
they have to create interest, go and learn.
Right.
Everything is available
Right, sir.
on this Google,
Right.
which was not there 25 years before. Now
Right.
everything is there on Google.
Right.
Only with interest, they have to just type keyword.
Right.
100 sites will come where they can go surf
Right.
and see a lot of material is available. They
Exactly.
can always learn. And this is the free time they are getting
Right.
at home. Not much task. So they
Absolutely.
can use this free time.
Exactly.
Think,
Exactly.
what to be done, which technology could be interested, do a
Right.
small certificate program, attend workshops,
Right.
and put it on your LinkedIn so that tomorrow you should not forget. This
Yes.
profile will go a long way. So,
Yes, sir.
so
Absolutely.
that-
Agree with
yes.
that. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Chaliye, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for
Abhishek,
inviting me
again.
for this. Yes. Thank you.
And yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye, sir. Bye, everyone. Anything, I'm just going to give my details on the chat right now. So please reach out to me. No problem. Thank you so much. I would be glad to help.
Oh,
Always.
take care.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Abhishek.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot for
Thank you
inviting.
very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Abhishek.
How are you?